Alex Bettinardi talking about, again, the other kind of key flagship project that's facilitated through the OMSD, the estimation of the ABM models. Take it on.
Yeah, and it occurred to me this morning, I'm like, oh, I'm before lunch. So anyways, I think I can go fast here. So a lot of these slides are just refreshers that people saw at the last, the OMSD saw in April. So I go through them kind of quick. But yeah, basically giving an update on where we stand with the ABM contract. As a reminder, we're moving forward with ActivitySim. It's got a contributing base of 14 agencies. Two, Oregon and Ohio had dropped, but Boston and New South Wales from Australia filled those gaps, so it's still 14 strong as of today. Reminder, we're moving to ABMs because we get, we have this great new survey, and we get a lot of expanded ability with moving to a platform that represents individual agents as opposed to zones of people. This travel survey is not possible without the ABM is not possible without the travel survey. So you need, the ABM is building on the work that Thor just presented on, all of that great investment, over $6 million. So we have that foundation set up. We just need to construct the house. This is kind of the current timeline that we were discussing in April. It's shifted a little bit, but these are largely still correct. So basically, throughout 2025 and into early 2026, the MPOs around the table here have been prepping their data for estimation. In August, so the green bar, phase 2, it's a little out of date, but in August, we kicked off phase 2, which was estimating that s'more dessert cracker. And then after we have the estimation complete, we'll move into actual, we won't actually have a model in any specific region. So in phase 3, we'll be calibrating and deploying graham crackers in all of the regions in the state of Oregon. This is the funding picture for where we're at with this work, or what it's taking to launch this work. This is what we presented in April. The slight revisions. So we've got Metro and ODOT that are completing their data in different. ODOT is moving forward, trying to pull their data together with their FTE. Metro has a contract that they're utilizing to try to get their data ready for estimation. LCOG and Salem are working on putting somewhere in the $100,000 to $150,000 amount into prepping their data for estimation. And so that's all the phase 1 pieces. Then on phase 2, ODOT was able to secure $650,000 of agency funds, not our funds, because we didn't have any, to have this lump sum to build on, so that we don't just have an empty concrete foundation without a house on top. So we got the $650,000 to construct the house that didn't go to waste. And then next, in a year or so, we'll all be trying to pull together that additional funding for phase 3 to, I don't know, my analogies are falling apart a little bit here, but I'm not quite, to deploy in MPO regions. So zooming into that phase 2, the phase 2 bar, the estimation bar, by the end of, or did I shift? I meant to shift. I thought I had one where what's the blue one? It's modeling but received. Very good. I thought I meant to shift the blue star. I thought I had a copy of this where I shifted it below. Okay, so the first one was where we were before, and then the copy below, the timeline. So the timelines are identical. I moved stars in the bottom timeline. So the bottom timeline is where we're actually at. And so the blue star has shifted a little bit. So we're working on getting Metro's data, I think by the end of the year is what we said, I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can actually get something to RSG by mid-November. We're still aiming for end of October, but just there's a couple inputs that, especially the employment data, if we want to use the latest data that comes out later this month, then that might push us back a bit.
And then all other MPOs are kind of due by January, February. So and then that's like the input data. And then there's a little bit of wiggle room there in that the Red Star is getting all of the estimation data together, surveys and inputs with properly working skims, so that by Marchish or so we'll be launching into estimation with the goal of having in mid to late summer 2026 having an estimated model to start deploying in regions. So I won't spend very much time on this, but just those tasks that are in these charts. We've got project management. Task 2 takes the ActivitySim models that we're borrowing from the California regions and creating the Oregon shell that we'll be filling with the survey data. Task 3 under that contract takes the work that Metro is doing with their contracts to get their data ready, and does any final work needed to put it into the new Oregon shell that's created under Task 2. So 2 creates the shell, and Task 3 ensures that Metro's data fits within that modeling shell / framework. 4 or 5, skip a few. So 6, 7, we went from 3 to 6, 7. So 6, 7 creates the outputs that we want to use to ensure that our models are hitting all of the measures that we're interested in, and then the visualizer tool, so that after we run an ABM, we can kind of instantly check it without doing a lot of Excel manual work. We can instantly check all 35 different behavioral model components against the survey data with a cool, tabs, and, just like in the CSI where they, like you have someone like, hey, track that person, and they pull it up on the screen. That's what we'll be able to do. Just call on the satellite. Anyway, sorry. And then task 8 estimates is the actual estimation. So all tasks 1 through 7 prepped for estimation, and task 8 is actually completing estimation. So 4, 5 that I skipped, we pulled those out, kind of hoping that we could do them with our own FTE because we can't afford them otherwise. So task 4 sets up the skimming to pull out the information from our model networks for estimation. Right now, Metro's contract and LCOG's work prior to that are pushing that pretty far. And so, hopeful that that'll get us far enough where we can, the OMSC members can figure out task 4 without having to pay RSG any additional funds. And both Kelly and Peter, if you guys want to throw in anything else about the various contracts that are running, please do. But Metro's contract is also helping implement the park and ride approach that will be used in the model. Anything else to mention?
No, I think you got it.
So all assignment and skimming is going to be done in Zoom?
Yeah, so we're the original design was to be assignment software agnostic, but since everybody else in the state is using Zoom and we have a Zoom license, we thought that it would, at least for the joint estimation, make sense that we all kind of use the same assignment procedures, at least assignment software, and try to standardize our procedures as much as possible. So yeah, it's being designed with Zoom.
So the Zoom just for estimation, and then for application, you could go back to.
To be determined.
Okay, all right, TBD, okay. Interesting.
And I just, from the pool fund side, we're the first Zoom, PTV user with ActivitySim. So that there's lots of, if we wanted, if any OMSC partner wanted to go to event, there's lots of examples they could borrow from the other 14 partners too. So lots of starting places there. And then task 5, which is we pushed out into contingency, which is why it wasn't in the other series, is if we need to do any further. So we, I think, part of the reason that there's a to be determined on the data processing under the OHAS contract processing the survey data for estimation is because we have a task there. And we're hoping that the OHAS contract takes us all the way to get the survey data prepped for estimation. And then we had this contingency task in case we need to do any further work there, but we're hoping that that it all is all covered under the other contract. And then so that was all the contract, the contract element, and then alongside the contract piece, I mentioned earlier, but we have IGAs established. So those tasks basically get us metro data all set to run for estimation by March. The other MPOs have different paths to get their data in. So for LCOG and Mid-Willamette, we've got an IGA set up for them to be able to fund dollars in to get any support they need to get their regions ready, the data in their regions ready for estimation. And on ODOT side, we're using our FTE to get the 3 regions that we support finalized by January. And so that means working to do final creation of the population sim to meet population, the synthetic population fields dictated by that graham cracker shell that they're building under task 2, getting the zone attribution final for that shell, getting the bytecoding final, so we have rough drafts and all this stuff, but basically getting all these components finalized based on that final design that RSG will be delivering soon. This slide isn't super helpful, but it just there's a variety of fields at the household level, the person level, the link level, the zone level. So just kind of showing that, these are the fields that we have to, where the definitions aren't quite final. So we're working on finalizing the definitions to allow us to finalize how the networks and individuals and zones are attributed so that we can get that all for. Because this is a reminder, so there's a survey data piece of it, which tells you what people did, but that's not enough to estimate a model. You need to know all the options that they had. So these pieces are to provide the survey, the context of all the options that they had, to give the full context to the survey to estimate months. So those are the 2 pieces happening. We did all the survey work, but now we need what options did they have to finalize estimation.